Hey, welcome fellow haunters. Well, I've scoured my bookshelves and pulled some other books off the shelves to share with you my love of Halloween and haunted attractions. And today our theme is going pro. Now there's a lot of home haunters out there who started decorating their yard and things just got too big and too many cars or visitors in the neighborhood and decided that, hey, maybe we can make money doing this. Not a whole lot of money, but mostly they just need to get out of the neighborhood. And in going pro, they've discovered lots and lots of interesting little intricacies about running a haunted attraction as a business. And so over the years, even though I have never run a haunted attraction, I've never gone pro myself, I have found a lot of books about people, found a lot of books by people who have gone pro, and I purchased them just to see what's involved. And it's been pretty interesting. Unfortunately, a lot of them are kind of outdated, so even though you can find them online, they may not be the best source of information if you're interested in going pro. But still, I wanted to show them to you, show you one that I do think is still relevant, and tell you about some stuff I know that's coming down the pike, so to speak. Alright, first I want to talk about this. This is the granddaddy of them all. This is How to Operate a Financially Successful Haunted House. This is by Philip Morris and Dennis Phillips. Philip Morris is the owner of Morris Costumes. You can see that's him there on the back. A lot of people in the haunting community remember this book. This is a classic. Let me give you an idea here of the kind of writing and illustrations you have. It's a little cheesy, there's a lot of stuff in here about how to create scenes for your haunted house, so there's a good chunk of that. But in the first part of the book, there is also a lot of information about running it as a business, advertising, ticketing, that sort of thing. Unfortunately, it is rather dated. They do talk about using an old Victorian house as a haunted attraction, and that honestly just would not fly today with fire codes being the way they are, and needing to make your house, your haunted house or haunted attraction, handicap accessible. You can't have people going up and down stairs, or rather you cut off a lot of your potential customers by not making it handicap accessible, and just other stuff like that. For example, in here he has a where is it here? In here he has a recipe for how to create fireproofing, so you could fireproof your props. Well, if you created a recipe to fireproof, or not fireproof, but flame retard your props and your haunts, there's no way that you'd be able to open. I mean, you'd have to have somebody certified to actually put flame retardant on your props. So it's still fun to read, though. It is still available out on Amazon, about $23 used. So if you want to just take a look at it, it's still out there. They do have some clip art that you can use, but with the web these days, nobody actually gets clip art out of books anymore, at least not that I know of. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time on these other two things. I just wanted to bring them up. A lot of books about Halloween and haunted houses are self-published, and it's no exception that books about how to run a haunted attraction are the same way. This is one by Jerry Chavez, the Haunted House Halloween Handbook. It's a self-published book. It is also still available out on Amazon. It's very simple, simplistic diagrams inside about effects that you can use. These are, pretty old effects and simple stuff. It's mostly for the idea if you would run a charity haunted house. And there aren't very many charity haunted houses out there anymore. It just, everything is mostly run for profit as far as I know. So that's one of the books that I have bought in the past, but probably not worth it to get these days. I'm sorry, Jerry. It was a really good book for its time, but I think 1997 was the published date on that. We also have here Tim Harkleroad. the Complete Haunted House book. There we go. Again, this is a book that has a lot of stuff about how to do makeup and effects. Here's an effect with running a, let me see, I can see in there, effect about how to create a tractor trailer scare effect, pushing a tractor trailer, how to create, oh, I don't know, an extraterrestrial autopsy room. But the first part of the book, again, does have some information about how to find locations, how to do ticketing, how to do marketing, that sort of thing. Again, a bit out of date, not much in here about the web or anything like that. They talk mostly about telemarketing. Or no, I shouldn't say mostly about that, but there's a section on here about how to do telemarketing. So that's something else that used to be out there. You can also still find this on Amazon, I believe. The second printing was 1998 on that. So that brings me to what I really want to talk about, which is this book. So You Want to Be a Haunt Entrepreneur. There we go. This is by Kelly Allen. Now, Kelly Allen owned a haunted attraction called Raycliffe Manor. Right now, according to his LinkedIn profile, he is currently a social media and marketing consultant at the Escondido Convention and Visitors Bureau. So, but he actually did run a haunted house, as these other people did. And what's interesting about this book is that this book only talks about the business. It only talks about how to run the business of a haunted attraction. There's nothing in here about creating scenes, creating a layout of your haunt, how to create special effects or masks or makeup. No, it's all about the business. It is. Let me read you some of the chapters here. We have creating a business plan, choosing your legal business structure, haunt theme, storyline. Okay, there's a little bit there about design, purchase and/or construction of a haunt. Excuse me. Business organization. What are your team members? Location, lease or buy. Fire code, safety code, security. Advertising and marketing. Insurance, liability and medical. Recruiting talent. Accounting. Concessions. That sort of stuff. And resources at the end, which is mostly books and websites, which may or may not be up to date. This book was published in 2001, so it's much more up to date than the other books. And from what I've heard and what I've seen from other people talking about going pro, it's a lot of it seems to be pretty relevant still. So on top of which, this is the only book out there that talks only about the business, at least the only book I've seen so far that talks about the business. Now, the sad thing about this is this is not in print form anymore. Again, it's a self-published book, but it is on Amazon on Kindle. It's $25, which in my opinion is a bit expensive for a Kindle book, but again, being self-published, there's a lot of overhead that I'm sure that the author needs to deal with, especially in dealing with Amazon. So, but it's a good starter, I would say, if you are thinking about getting into the haunt business and you want to know what you're in for. It's not going to tell you everything that you need to know. It's going to give you, it's going to touch on everything that you need to learn more about. Although this has a lot of good information. For example, they got an example of a worker's release form here. All right, and they have other examples of an example business plan, that sort of thing. But you'd want to have somebody more experienced drawing those things up if you actually win in business. Now, I do want to talk about something else then. Start out with this. If you're going to go pro, you may not have heard about this. It's a self-published book, so check it out on Amazon. But there is something else coming down the turnpike. Now, Haunt Guy, which is Scott Michael, who runs the haunted attraction Hysteria Nation, he has a YouTube channel called Haunt Guy, and I'll put the link down in the comments. And he's creating a haunt Bible, basically, which is a huge information resource about how to put together a professional haunt. I don't know how many pages it is. I seem to remember he said something up hundreds of pages, probably more. What you need to do is you need to go to his YouTube site. And it's vlog, his vlog number 29, and I'll put a link to that down in the comments, and where he describes what's going into this thing. It's not available yet, but when it is available, it's going to be a PDF file, and I think he said the price is going to be around $150, which if it contains everything he says it contains, and I'm sure it will be well worth the price, because a professional haunted house, from what I hear, runs in the thousands of dollars. He says it, a minimum $10,000 to get it going. So $150 to learn all the stuff about fire codes and contracts and how to avoid getting taken advantage of, and how to, not spend more money than you have to, and to open on time and all that stuff. That'd be well worth it, I think, to spend the money on the $150 for the Haunt Bible. Another route you can go, also going pro, and I know I'm not talking about books now, I'm just sort of talking about my personal opinion. You can always hire a consultant. Now, Leonard Pickle, who runs HauntCon, the Haunted Attraction Convention, which I got to go to once, a while back when it was in Dallas. I haven't had a chance to get out and go to it again. He got his start in creating haunted houses, and he still consults with people. He hires himself out as a consultant for people who want to go pro, and he will tell you how to do it. So that's another way that you can go. Look up Leonard Pickle online. I don't know the name of his company, but I do have heard him in interviews, and he still does consulting for haunted houses. So that's another way to go. But if you're just looking to see what you might have to do if you want to go pro, the latest book, or the latest book that you might want to take a look at, is this one. It's on Kindle for 25 bucks. So You Want to Be a Haunt Entrepreneur. Tells you all about the business stuff of it, business side of the process. And really, I think would be a good help. Again, just my opinion. I'm not a pro haunter, so take that for what it's worth. All right, so that's about it for this little video slice of heaven. Where did that come from? I don't know. So next time, I'll see what other information I can dig up. And remember, don't turn around. There may be something behind you. Happy Halloween.